So we're back for another Laars job, part 2. So right now I'm putting back the cover of boiler number 1. We changed the igniters, we changed the blown canisters. So now we're putting it back together. Right now the front is what I'm doing and the back is what I gotta do next. And then after all this is done, I got a whole new boiler to take apart. Now that boiler, that has blown canisters to pieces. So it might be a little bit more difficult than this one, because that one I might have to cut out. But hopefully it's not that difficult. Zip, 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 covering my igniter hatch, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, same thing for this one. Putting back the cover. After I put the igniter in. These igniters I changed during the overhaul when I discovered these cracked canisters. Now what happens is, when you have these cracked canisters, they allow more gas to go into the chamber, which throws it off. But even sometimes you get a big boom when it lights off because it's letting so much gas inside. So that's why it's better to change them when you can. Because if you don't, you're risking more booms and more problems that you don't want to have. Zip, 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 close it up. This is usually the longest part of this, is zipping all those screws and closing up this cover. The longest but easiest. So this is the back side of this PNCH 2000. Those are all the canisters with the new ones. That right there is millboard. That helps keep the heat from coming out. If you ever see a boiler with like a dark reddish spot or a burnt spot, most likely this millboard is not there. It really helps keep the heat inside and not let the heat get out. And it's fireproof, so it doesn't really burn. This metal plate goes over that. And once again, we gotta zip, 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 zip it up. You gotta make sure you place it in the right place. So let me clean all that, because if I don't, I won't be able to zip, zip, zip it up properly. So it's better to clean that area. And also, it's a tight fit. So you want to slide it in and be able to slide it back and forth a little bit to match the holes. Because if you don't, you'll be zipping new holes. It's always good to use the holes that are there. So, so there you go. Now it's in. I got to line it up a little bit better. There you go. See, I had to bang on it to get it to move to the side a little bit. And yeah, and we got it. Bang, 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 bang. Move to the side, line it up. Normally you can see the holes with the screws to know that it's lined up. Kicked it a little bit. There we go, we got it. So we put that one together and we went over to this boiler to start from the beginning. So we're gonna do the same thing we did with that boiler, with this boiler. Zip, 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 unzip, unzip. Now, people ask me about the Mighty Therms and the PNCH, all this, the pennant, the Mighty Therm 2, I mean, but the pennant, is it better to do the coil inspection from the front? I say it's 10 times easier removing everything from the back. You don't have to disturb anything. Now, there's certain screws that might give you some trouble, but you can take those screws out, like that one right there, and leave it out. And once you take it out, you're good. You don't gotta put them back. You're actually helping the next guy. And also there's these tabs that are holding on to the metal. You you could just break those things off. It's like they designed it for you not to take it apart, but honestly, you're supposed to take every single one of those pieces off, but to put them back in is hell. So now I got the whole boiler disconnected. There's two 916 bolts you got to take off. If you're able to line it up properly with the coil, you can put them back, but you don't necessarily have to. It helps keep the coil a little bit at bay, but once you put that cover on, you're good. Once again, zip, 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 taking all the screws out that hold that metal plate. Once you take all those screws, that metal plate comes right out. But since I can tell nobody has ever opened this, there's two screws that are the worst and most difficult to get out. And that's the ones all the way in that corner. Yep, that corner that I just pointed to. This corner. Now these screws are pretty difficult because they got nuts behind them.